Hi lovelies, and welcome to the Witch's Cookery. The first month of the year has flown by and we are already arrived at Imbolc. So today I want to take you along on this freezing but wonderful day to share my midwinter holiday celebration with you, send you some inspiration and joy to get through the bleakest month of the year with a pop of magic and color, delicious seasonal kitchen witchery on the side of pagan lore. We are going to do some DIYs that help you connect with nature and live a cleaner and greener life. Let's see what else. Ancient tradition, history, stories and all of that. Let's first go on a cleansing winter walk and see what's happening in nature. Why? It is positively frigid. I'm kind of spooked walking here. There's no one else. It's really like a area where not many people do walk. I already filmed here once and then I heard this like howling in the forest and I was like, no, let's not get eaten by a wolf today. And now while I'm walking I see a lot of like these huge ass paw prints in the snow, a lot of them, not like only like one trail but multiple, but no like human footsteps next to it, which would indicate that just someone walked there trying dog. So I don't know. Don't want to end up as Little Red Riding Hood, but we shall see. So far so good, so far so good. This is a time of like immense cold. It's like the coldest 2 months of the year, January, February. You have the browns, the greens, the white of the ice and the snow still. For me, it always was connected to the element of water and of earth. The stillness of the frozen ice, the snow is now nourishing everything that is kind of like unseen under the earth, but you can already kind of feel the soil preparing for spring and for life to return. I associate every month with different energies, and in my spiritual or witchcraft practice I also try to incorporate those feelings, those elements in the spell work I do, in the ritual I do, or just in the general meditations I contemplate on my walks through nature, for example. It's a time of nourishment and stillness and quiet preparation, if you will. The weather right now is rather unpredictable. Sometimes it's like way in the minus degrees and everything is just like still and resting, and other days it's like rain and you get the thaw weather. It was definitely a time of transition. I also feel that in my personal life it's usually the time where I start scheming about things again. I might not completely take action on it yet, but I get the restless feet. But so far for my personal musings, let me take you along in case I get eaten by a wolf. You will be there to witness it. Oh, get eaten with me! Let's be a snack together! This time of year for a lot of people is actually quite a hard time. Numbers for seasonal depression, if you're in a similar climate zone, in January and February skyrocket, because the winter has been, you know, carrying on for a little while and you're kind of like bound to the house unless you're a snow bunny like me. On a day like this where the sun is like so beautiful on the sky and everything is this like pastel-y light blue, it's beautiful, glistening snow and all, but a lot of times it's just grey, heavy skies, not so much beauty going on at all. And my tip for you is to really find your joy in every season, even in the seasons that you do not like as much. Find the things that you can do only this time of year. Gee, no offense, but you are kind of heavy, eh? Must be all those Christmas cookies. Let me quickly put you on a tripod because my fingers are freezing off. And speaking of delicious snacks, before I share my favorite seasonal magic and mundane ideas with you, let's take a quick excursion to the kitchens to witch up a most delightful Imbolc sweet. And yes, traditionally Imbolc and other corresponding holidays throughout Europe with different names are all about using milk, butter, lard, eggs and other fattening, fertility related ingredients. I've gotten into the whys and hows of these customs and recipes in previous Imbolc vlogs, but today I wanted to create something on the brighter and lighter side, taste-wise that is, because this is still a very heavy caloric bomb, but worth every heavenly bite. And it might or might not have been inspired by my current re-obsession with Bridgerton. So, Bex, what are we making? I hear you think at the screen. Well, we are creating these scrumptious little tartlets that will be filled with a creamy zesty lemon curd and then topped off with toasted Swiss meringue. I know this now sounds complicated and messy, but it really is not, and this tasty treat will lend a pop of color to any Imbolc tea table, impress your friends and family, and become your favorite fancy snack. Of course, we will be making everything from scratch here, so you can see how it is done, but if you're short on time, not into baking or plain lazy witching it, you can find all the separate layers, maybe minus the meringue, in the supermarket. But now for the best part. The reason I chose this particular recipe is that I made it into a midwinter-worthy kitchen witch ritual. Yes, we'll work our magic while creating this masterpiece. Before I walk you through the steps, did you know that on my website you can find a full 2-week email course on Imbolc that you can do at home? You will receive daily prompts, activities, DIYs, recipes, rituals, or spellwork inspiration to honor the spirit of the season. This course is suitable for all experience levels, and you can even do it if you're in a broom closet. I will link it down below in case you want to join the fun. So back to the kitchen witch ritual. You can start by setting out all the ingredients listed below and familiarize yourself with the recipe itself. So during the baking process you can concentrate better on the inner work, or you can choose to pause in between steps to infuse your magic. Here we are working with ingredients that have magical correspondences and meditation prompts that draw meaning to your own life. For the structure of this dish, I wanted to symbolize 3 layers that we can observe in nature this time of year that perfectly represent the spirit and meaning of the season. First, we have the soil that is currently safekeeping and nourishing all the potential for growing life. In order for it to be fertile, it needs to be well prepared. To represent the soil, I made a buttery pie crust in mini tart pans. While you knead or roll out the dough, you can think about what basis for fertile growth there is in your life. Maybe it is the mindset that you have, your outlook on life, supportive social circles, skills or previous experience, and so on. The next layer, represented by the bright yellow lemon curd, is the returning light of the sun. Once the first warm sun rays hit the ground, melting away the snow, they give the little seeds in the ground the power to sprout and grow into the first green. For me, this is a symbol of hope for new beginnings, blossoming life, or slumbering passions. Giving this layer a citrus taste seems just so perfect to me. Both the smell and taste of citrus evoke happiness and can act as an energizer to the brain and body. And lemons are absolute sun fruits, reminding me of warm weather and bright skies. The many eggs in here stand for fertility and growth. While you make the curd, think about what in your life you're hoping to awaken. Maybe a hope or dream that was slumbering inside you, maybe a project, habit, energy or feeling. There is a lot of stirring that goes into making both curd and Swiss meringue because you're working with eggs over heat and they should ideally not turn into scrambled egg. So enlist your crotch goblins, partners, friends, or whip out that good old electric mixer. Last but not least, we have the Swiss meringue that symbolizes the snow that is currently still covering the world in a white blanket. While you carefully heat and beat it into little snow mountains, you might think about what needs to melt away before you can fully shoot into action, and how can you help it melt away. As you can see, the piping bag and me will never become friends, as I'm not one for aesthetically perfect creations. I can do the flavors, not the itsy bitsy nimbly fibbly decorations and shit. But after all, we are here for the magic and to make our taste buds happy. Now for the finishing touch, you want to toast your Swiss meringue, and don't worry, you don't need a kitchen blowtorch to do so. Just put a grill or upper heat in your oven on high and then toast them for maybe 30 seconds to 1 minute in the highest rack, but be very careful and have a close eye on them because they tend to burn quickly. Now back to magic and mundane activities that you can do only this time of year to make your life a bit more happy, colorful, magical and healthy. I don't know if you knew this, but if you are a little German folk witch, you would not be doing your laundry in a time span during December and January. The reason for that is that we celebrate the Rauhnächte, or in English it's called the 12th 12 days of Christmas. Why, you might ask? Well, because people believed that any type of turning motion, like a turning wheel, would disturb the turning of the wheel and the weaving of the fortune for the new year. And no one wants to risk having another shit year just for a load of laundry, right? Second reason for that is that it was believed that the wild hunt during that time would ride through the skies, and if you would hang out your wash to dry, spirits might get entangled in your bed sheets. And who needs a demon in their bed, really? If you just actually had to think about the answer to this rhetoric question, I see you, fellow smut connoisseur. Especially white laundry was dangerous because apparently spirits cannot see the color white. Also a reason why we put all our protective symbols and letters and whatnot, at least in my region, with white chalk on doors, on houses and beams. After the Rauhnächte are now over, 6th of January is usually the time where I start one of my favorite cottage witch habits, which lasts around until March, when then the pollen ruin the entire fun and torture my nasal cavities. Anyway, on really ice cold days, hang out your bed sheets, just like let them air out on fresh air, the balcony, outside for half an hour. They get cold, they get fresh, and if you put them back into bed, oh, they have such an amazing scent and it just feels lovely. It's like sleeping on a cloud. Very small window to enjoy this. Activity number 2. Everyone can swim in summer or go to the beach, but only the really hardcore ones swim in winter. Actually, the snow months are really the only ones where you can do ice bathing for free out in nature. That is, if you have people that are willing to go with you to your local lake, pond or stream in order to make sure you're safe of thermic shocks and such. But what a most beautiful experience, and so healthy too. So the people in my household are from southern Spain, so they don't enjoy the magic of this experience. So I had to come up with something slightly different. Proper ice here. Let's break this in so I don't puncture my behind. Nice and icy. My god, my hand is already freezing. I hate it. I hate everything about it.
Well, this is ice, but
Weil das mega gut für dich ist. It's so good for you. It's so hard to do, but it really like teaches you mind over matter, that you can do much harder things that you actually think you can do.
okay, Lukas.
If you just force yourself to do it, my child is telling me that I'm crazy. And I feel like he's correct. You feel amazing afterwards. It's super de-stressing to the body. You know, if you do it in the morning, you can really get a push for the day. If you do it in the evening, you sleep all so well. Can I go out? I can go out. It's proven to better and lift symptoms of clinical depression and anxiety, and it builds brown fat, which is the good fat that kind of like keeps you warm and uses up a lot of energy, aka you get to eat more. Stamp of approval. Sorry for spitting at you, that was involuntary. While the weather is still bare outside, you can also just like use your time inside for something proper. Use the energies of Imbolc, of new beginnings, new life, to bring some new life and new beginnings into your house. Do like little DIY projects, do some decluttering, early spring cleaning, get rid of all the old stagnant energy and make it lighter, brighter. Prepare the soil in your environment in order to then have more mental space or calm or happiness or inspiration during the rest of the year. My project is finally doing the kids' room properly. I want to turn it into this amazing secret forest wonderland where I paper mache like life-size trees. It looks amazing in my head, but I know that every time I start a craft project I end up swearing like a sailor. Let me know if you wanna be taken along on that journey and I might put it into a video. If it is advertiser friendly and I don't have to beep out the entire shit. Don't promise anything here. And speaking of clearing, cleansing out the place, here in my area, Imbolc, or Lichtmess, how we call this, is also traditionally the time when you get rid of your Christmas greenery and your twinkle lights. Yes, we do really leave it on until the 2nd of February. The life and the light are returning to the outside space, so we don't have to keep the winter spirits and the spirit of life safe and warm inside anymore. We can release it to the wild, so to say. And with that, I want to give you a fantastic DIY idea where you can actively give an offering to the outside spirits, aka the little birds that might not find something to eat yet when the ground is frozen, and find second use for your Christmas greenery or your Christmas tree. If you have an untreated tree, you can just break off the branches, use it as mulch in the garden. You can saw up the stem and make it into like really cool little coasters or DIY runes. But what I am going to do today with a little evergreen wreath that I had is to make a abundance charm as well as a bird feeder. So, as I explained before, this time of year for me is really related to the element of water and of earth. So I'm crafting with sticks, the elemental signs for both, and basically this just serves as a little ladder type of thingy for the birds to sit on, to grab on, and they're snacking on their little treats. And then I picked different things, fruits, for example apples and oranges. The only thing that you really have to be mindful for is that you don't want to get the things to get moldy. If it's cold enough outside, it will take a long while until that will happen, but have an eye on it, and if it doesn't get eaten before, definitely discard of things that are getting bad. Don't want to make our little bird friends sick. Of course, you also want to throw a couple of lovely snacks in there, some seeds, nuts, oats, raisins, and for that I absolutely recommend looking up in your area which bird varieties you have there and what is recommended to feed them, because not all birds eat the same thing and not all wildlife can eat the same stuff. Again, we want to do something nice here for nature and not harm anyone. I absolutely hate pre-made bird food because I bought it once and then I got like a moth infestation in my kitchen and it lasted for like 3 months and it was the most horrible thing ever. So I'm just like mixing it myself with a couple of sunflower seeds, with pumpkin seeds and so on. And then just get creative. What is also a really fun idea is to string berries with a needle and a thread. But make sure that the thread is thick enough. And in order for the seeds to stick and the oats to stick, you can just make a little paste, either using lard or a vegetable shortening, which is safe for birds to eat. You melt that, you throw everything in, mix it together, and then you can let it cool down until it gets a bit thicker again, and then you can just fill it in apples or in oranges. I also saw a really fun idea where you can just coat pine cones with it that you hang. And every time I do a bit of cottage witchery, crafting something for abundance, I definitely have the element of giving in there, because I feel the more you give, the more you can also receive in turn. What goes around comes around, and for me that will bring my kids an abundance of joy, me too by the way, to just look outside and see the birds snacking away at that little wreath. I know it doesn't look perfect. As I said, me and craft projects are not getting along. Plus, I got really sick when I was doing that. But you know what? The birds don't care. And so I won't either. Alright, lovelies. This was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I wish you a beautiful Imbolc and Midwinter, and I shall see you very soon. Oh, almost forgot. Don't forget to check out that Imbolc course that I spoke about before and that is linked down in the description box, because you can start it whenever you want and it's filled with great ideas and, you know, just a lot of magic and fun for you. Alright, bye! Bye!